measures of location and spread for ungrouped data. So here we look at data that might be in a list or in a frequency table where the data has not been grouped, so individual data values which are known. When working with quartiles, we put our data in order, lowest value to the highest value. When we're 25% of the way through our data, that's the first quarter here, Q1, or otherwise known as the lower quartile. When we're 50% of the way through our data, so we're 2/4 of the way through, this is also called the median, and then 3/4 of the way through our data, Q3, known as the upper quartile. So the interquartile range will be the upper quartile, Q3, minus the lower quartile, Q1. We can also use percentiles here. The lower quartile is 25% of the way through the data, so the 25th percentile. The median is the 50th percentile. The upper quartile is the 75th percentile. This formula is given in the Edexcel formula book. So to work out the location of these quartiles in our data, we need to know where to look, and there are some simple formulae that we need to use, which are 0.25n, 0.5n, and 0.75 times n. So what's n? N is the number of data values in your data set, and if you have a frequency table, it's simply the sum of the frequencies. Remember, these formulae do not give you the actual quartiles, they tell you where to look in your data. So once you've worked out these values, if you get a decimal value, round up to the nearest whole number, to the nearest integer. If you get a whole number, add a half. So as an example, if one of these calculations gave 19.5, it's a decimal value, you round up. So we're looking for the 20th value in our data, when our data is in order, from the lowest to the highest value. If one of these formulae gave 24, then because it's a whole number, you add a half. So we're looking for the value that's in between the 24th and 25th data value. So the lower quartile, Q1, is the 25th percentile, Q2 the 50th percentile, Q3 the 75th percentile. So if we look at percentiles, so we've got percentile and the formula which tells us where to look in the data to locate that particular percentile. So the 10th percentile, use the formula 0.1 times n, where n is the number of data values. And then we've got the lower quartile, median, upper quartile. Another example here, the 90th percentile, use the formula 0.9 times n. And once you've worked out a value for one of these, then use the rounding method described here.